Okay. So as the kid here is asking me right now, he said, Sister Laila, my cousin just committed suicide. And this is an important question. I want all you young youth that's listening to me to listen to my response. I'm going to give you the correct answer on this. I'm going to give you the answer the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave. And I'm going to give you the understanding that every one of his companions had. Every single one of those thousands of companions. He had thousands of companions. Écoutez. Okay, little kid, écoutez. Because he's French. He's Arabic, but speaks French, you know. North Africa in the house, and we don't need no flags. Okay. Yours truly. He said, my cousin just committed suicide. He said, some of the people are saying that my cousin will be in hell forever. He said, some people are saying that he's going to be forgiven. He said, Sister Laila, I will accept whatever Allah says. I will submit. I'm saying it in English. I will submit to whatever Allah says. He said, can you please tell me which answer is correct? He said, I'm looking for your answer. Parce que, because you speak juste. Écoutez, Awa, juste is the truth, right?
Yeah, he speaks the, yeah.
So, okay, see my French? I don't speak it no more, but it's come back. Yeah, he said that he'll accept my answer because I always speak the truth. Okay, let me give you kids the correct answer, because this is another reason why Allah is angry with us. Because again, instead of us having the understanding of this religion that his companions had, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and those companions had, we've allowed the men of today to water our religion down, twist it up. Okay? No. The answer is clear. No. The answer is clear. No. Anyone who takes their own life will never, ever be forgiven. Et comme vous, speaking French too. And like you're saying, you're translating for him? Good. Okay. His sister says she's also slow down. Lentement. Lentement means slow down, right? Awa, lentement?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She's telling me to slow down. Lentement. Okay, slow down. She's translating. Lentement. Okay. First of all, guys, Allah says in the Quran, anyone who takes his own life will do it over and over again, and that person will never be forgiven. That's in the Quran. There are numerous hadiths. You can find the sources in Bukhari. I'm going to give you all the Bukhari ones. You'll also find the sources in Sahih Muslim. I'm going to give you the Muslim ones too. You can also find them in Tirmidhi, Dawood, and all the Sitta. Even a couple in y'all's Mishkat. Oh yeah, couple in Mishkat too. That's authentic. Be careful with that Mishkat. Lentement? Okay, slowly. She said slowly. Okay. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, anyone who takes his own life will do it over and over and over in hell. It will never be forgiven. And then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is Bukhari and also Muslim, he said a man fought on the battlefield. He fought valiantly. And then he received an injury in his hand as a result. Overcome by the injury, the man hastened his life by taking his own life. So now that man is in hell forever and ever and ever. And when the prophet said that, one of the companions said, but O prophet of Allah, he fought for the sake of Allah. And that's when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the last deed that you do can determine where you end up. And another companion was still confused, but he fought. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, don't you know, and you will find the full hadith, Bukhari, Muslim, Muwatta. In order to be a believer, because this person said, but oh prophet, he was a believer. He was a believer. He fought for the sake of Allah. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, in order to be a believer, are you writing this down? Écrivain? Okay, she said, good, she got it. She's writing it. Écrivain? Okay. All right. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, in order to be a believer, 3 characteristics have to exist. If even one is missing, je répète, I'm repeating. If even one is missing, the person is not a believer. And those 3 characteristics are, you have to have love for Allah. You have to have fear of his punishment. And the third is, you have to have hope of his mercy. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained to the companions that many sins, and of course I'm putting this in simple English for you, many sins fall in the category of disbelief. Arrogance is a sin of disbelief. What makes arrogance a sin of disbelief is, instead of having love for Allah, you love yourself more. And you will never be a believer until you love Allah more than yourself. Y'all see all the hadiths come together. And he said, just as arrogance, anyone who dies upon arrogance will be in hell forever. Just as anyone who dies upon arrogance will be in hell forever, anyone who loses hope of Allah's mercy will be in hell forever too. And then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and what's the source? Bukhari, Muslim, and Muwatta. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the man who takes his own life, he lost hope. He gave up on Allah. And the believer never gives up on Allah. Allah can cause mountains to move for you. There's my dalil. So this is why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not perform the funeral prayer for a person that took his own life. He would have Abu Bakr or somebody else do the funeral prayer. But he wanted to, the reason he didn't do it is because he wanted to emphasize to the companions, the same way I'm trying to emphasize to you youth, never lose hope. Never give up on Allah. Don't ever take your own life. I don't care how bad life gets. Life is filled with ups and downs. There's going to be trials. Comprenez? Écoutez, mes amis. Écoutez à moi. Okay? Listen to me. Okay? Life is going to be filled with ups and downs. Allah told us, just because you say you believe in me, it's not enough. You got to prove it. None of those companions took their own lives. When the Quraysh were persecuting them, abusing them, genociding them, they didn't take their own lives. They never lost hope. When they faced them on the battlefield, they were outnumbered 10-1. They didn't turn around and stab themselves and take their lives and say it's over. Allah sent angels to help them. The same with us, guys. You never give up on Allah. I don't care where you are in your life. You can be in a bad spot. Subhanallah, I was in a bad spot 2 days ago. I get sad the day of the Eids because I couldn't go to the mosque down the street. I went there, drove in my little luxury car. Oh yeah, here she come. Shades on. Y'all should have seen me. I said, I'm going to the mosque today. I'm going to this Eid prayer today. I got up, took my shower. Layla was dressed. Y'all think I look nice on here? This is a $10 abaya, $10 hijab. Layla pulled out the $100 abaya. I looked like I was coming from the Gulf. Oh yeah, had my gold on hanging down here. You know, Bedouin. Drove to the mosque. I thought I'd get my confidence that way. You know, social anxiety. I drove up to that big mosque down the street. I have never seen so many people in my life. I saw all these Muslims. Oh, I started sweating. I started hyperventilating. I said, I couldn't get out the car. My anxiety got me. I said, well, Latifah ain't with me. Latifah was off doing the Eid, you know. I'm an hour away from Mukhtar and them. I'm an hour away from Masjid Akbar. And I didn't feel like driving to Masjid Akbar. I didn't feel like going to Akbar. I'm only comfortable there because I know everybody there. I didn't know, and it was more men. I'm like, look at these brothers. I don't know these people. So I turned around in my little luxury SUV with my $100 buy on and my gold hanging down, looking like I'm straight from out the Sahara Desert. Oh yeah, went and got me a coffee. I look like I'm out the Sahara Desert, man. You should see the Bedouin and Layla. But anyway, I turned around and went back. Still couldn't get out the car. Social anxiety because I don't know the people. And it was a lot of men. I'm like, where the women at? That bothered me. I was in a dark place because it was the day of the Eid. None of my students were here. Friends know. Y'all see her picture. She was partying in LA. Even Sabrine. Somebody picked Sabrine up. She was partying and doing janazas. Okay? Wasn't nobody here. So I was in a dark place. Did I take my life? No. I made dua. I said, oh Allah, help me to overcome my anxiety where I can at least go to the mosque down the street. Okay? I said, send some type of help. Yesterday, I got a phone call. Sister Carmetta. She said, Sister Layla, you know, I didn't go to the Eid this time because I had to work. She said, but the mosque down the street from you has all kind of events going on. She said, also the mosque in Akron got a lot of events going on. She said, I'm going to come pick you up and take you so you can get acquainted, you know, with some of the people around you so you can go to the mosque on your own because she knows I got anxiety. So that was my answer. That was my help. Carmetta's going to come pick me up next week and we going out. We going to the mosque for some event so I can meet the people and then I won't have that anxiety anymore. All I need is one person to go with me one time so I can meet somebody. You know, I'm a people person. When I get in the mosque, I'll make my own friends. They usually know who I am, and it won't be no problem, but I just need to get through the door. But is it worth killing yourself over? Life is going to be filled with a lot of struggles, guys, but you never give up on Allah. Allah will send help to you. All you have to do is turn to him and ask for his help. Talk to him. Let him know that you're in a bad place, like I did 2 days ago. I was crying. I said, Allah, I'm in a bad place. I'm alone. I don't have a husband. I don't have no cheering. I ain't got nobody. Latifah's gone, doing her own thing. My best friend, she's the president of CARE. She left me here. I ain't got nobody to do the E with. I was in a bad place. But I called upon Allah for help. The next day, look what happened. I got Carmetta. She coming to get me. We going to the masjids. We're going to make rounds to both of them so I won't be, because all I need is that one time. Then I'll be able to go. Don't give up on Allah, people. Because when you give up on Allah, that means you no longer believe in him. And that's why suicide is a sin that Allah will never forgive. Because remember, arrogance is Allah's cloak. Pride is his mantle. Don't ever give up on him. Don't ever second guess him and think he can't send help to you. SubhanAllah. How many times have you tripped and you thought you was going to hit the ground, but something stopped you from falling on the ground and set you back up straight? That's Allah sending help through those angels of mercy, man. The angels of mercy are around us. They are our friends. If you are fulfilling your obligations as a Muslim, you're praying your prayers every day. I want you kids to listen. You're making your salats. That's what keeps you connected to Allah. That's why we emphasize prayer. The Prophet said when we abandon the prayer, that's when we disconnect from Allah. And that's when Allah sends calamities to you. The Muslims today have lost that connection with Allah because we don't safeguard our prayers. We don't dress properly. Safeguard those prayers. And then when life throws you a curveball, call upon Allah and he'll help you. But don't ever lose hope in him. It's a sin of disbelief. I don't care what these famous duat or these famous speakers say, because I did hear there's a new fatwa. I know where the brother got this from. There's a fatwa flying around the internet with some famous speaker. He's always putting his foot in his mouth. This famous speaker then put out a fatwa saying that there's 2 types of suicide. Where did he get this from? Where does Allah say in the Quran that there's 2 types of suicide? One that he forgives and one that he doesn't. This is why we got the war. Where does the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say that there's 2 types of suicide? The Prophet Muhammad said, don't ever, not even if you are injured and in pain, don't ever take your own life. Don't ever give up on Allah. See, you famous brothers, you are the reason Allah has brought this war here, because y'all making up your own rules. You're doing just what Allah said we would do in these later generations. Instead of you following his commands, you're issuing fatwas. You're issuing Islamic verdicts that go against what Allah said, that go against what the Prophet said, that have nothing to do with the understanding of those companions. And you want to know why? Allah is causing war to fall upon us. You brothers are sick. There's no such thing, écrivez, and write this down to him. There is no such thing, because that's what she put up here. She got on her screen that he said that one of them said it's 2 types of suicide. There is no such thing. There is not no 2 types of death. There is no such thing as giving up on Allah. 2 different types of giving up on Allah. You cannot put a bomb on yourself and blow yourself up. That's suicide. You're going to be blowing yourself up in hell with that bomb forever. And you cannot say, I'm going to kill myself because life is just too bad. Whoever, I know the idiot that put that fatwa out, he ain't no scholar. And I'm telling you, brothers, especially you brothers living in Europe, comprenez, you brothers living in Europe, y'all got to stop following those famous speakers, man. Them brothers are leading y'all to the gates of hell. There's no such thing as 2 types. There's no such things as losing hope on one hand and losing hope on the other. Either you lost hope or you ain't. Do you understand? Comprenez. So unfortunately, whoever, your cousin that took his own life, he'll be doing it over and over and over again in hell, like the prophet said. That's a sin of disbelief. And Allah says that paradise will not hold any disbelievers. All disbelievers will be in the hellfire. Allah will not accept any way other than the way of Islam. And I rest my case. Allah knows best. Did I give the answer? Comprenez? Safi. Let me see what she's typing. Yeah, and make sure you encourage him to never do that. Because if he was close to his cousin, you want to make sure that he doesn't end up making the same mistake his cousin did. Give him some counseling. Ma soeur, comprenez-moi? Get him some counseling. Réfléchissez. Réfléchissez. Yeah, and get him some counseling. Don't ever let him think that it's okay to take your life. And beware of fatwas. Anybody that puts a fatwa out that goes against what Allah says, they're going to take their seat in hell too. Okay, any questions about suicide? This is important. What about my Zoom room people? Did I answer that well? I know Mina's not here, so can somebody give me some feedback? Did I explain that to the kids good? Fresno?
Yes, you started very well.
So you don't think these kids, they understand that it's haram? These muftis and all that that's putting out these fatwas, that's what they calling themselves, muftis. I keep telling y'all, anyone, regardez-moi maintenant dans mon lait, regardez mon lait. I'm telling him, look inside my eyes. Look at my eyes, parce que the truth est dans mon lait. The truth is in my eyes. Anyone who calls themselves a mufti, this is a person that you run away from. I'm going to tell you why. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, what's the source? Bukhari and Muslim. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, do not name yourselves or refer to yourselves with titles that you could never, ever, ever live up to. A lot of you Western Muslims don't understand the meaning of the word mufti. I am an Arab and I don't speak Arabic fluently, but I do know enough of the Fusha where I can come in here and teach you this deen and break it down to you in plain English. And I know that mufti is a title of arrogance. None of the companions would have ever referred to himself as a mufti. In fact, the companions used to get angry if you even went to them to ask them a question, because they understood the seriousness of being a person of knowledge, the seriousness of answering questions, and your answers are incorrect. Comprenez? Regardez-moi melee. Okay? Anybody that is that pompous and that arrogant to call himself a mufti, run away from him. This is the lesson that even Moses, alayhi salam, had to learn. I'm sure you've heard the story of El-Khidr. El-Khidr. Moses was asked, who's the mufti? Oh yeah, that's that Arabic word. That's what that Arabic Fusha word means. Who's the mufti? Moses had the nerve to say he was the most knowledgeable. So Allah taught Moses, alayhi salam, a lesson. Don't ever think that you're the most knowledgeable person, because there's always someone who knows better than you. So make sure you tell your brother, sister, you translate this to him. Anybody that calls themselves a mufti, run away from him, because he's too arrogant and too pompous to take from anyway. If that's a lesson that Moses had to learn, and Moses is more knowledgeable than any of these losers today, we become that arrogant, that pompous, that we call ourselves muftis, and we're issuing fatwa, Islamic verdicts, saying that there's two types of suicide. Are you out your mind? Where does the law say there's two types? And we wonder why the Muslim kids are killing themselves. We want to know why they're committing suicide. You brothers and your fatwas, you muftis, you pompous, arrogant mufti wannabe. Y'all better be glad those companions ain't living, because if Umar were here and he heard you call yourself mufti, your neck would be taken off. Hello, who is this dude that think he's the mufti? Let's take his neck off. You Kharajite. Hello, that's what the companions would do to you. Oh yeah, I'm a warrior like them. Don't mess with the children. You crying about kids dying in Gaza. Forget about that. Those kids over there are green birds flying in paradise. They in a better place than you could ever be. You better cry about the kids here in the West that's committing suicide, because you are issuing fatwas telling them that it's okay. You idiot. You better hope Laila Nasheeba don't ever come upon you, because I'd be the one to take it. To leave the children alone. You ain't qualified to teach Islam. You don't even know what La ilaha illallah means. If you did, you wouldn't have the title mufti. You ain't no mufti. You're a loser. And you're going to pay. You're going to pay with these fatwas for all these kids that follow you, that do this. You're going to pay for it, brother. You're going to be on that treadmill in the hellfire, walking around with your guts spilled out. And all these children who will be in hell because they followed your fatwa, thinking that there's two types of suicide. They're going to look at you and say, oh, Mufti, what are you doing here? You the one that told me it was okay to kill myself because it's two types of suicide. You're going to have to face them and say with your gut spilled out, I called myself enjoining the good and forbidding the evil, but I couldn't enjoin it and forbid it for myself. Think about that hadith. What's the source? Bukhari. You brothers need to fear Allah. All right. So I hope I answered that question. Ain't no good suicide. How old was he anyway? De quel âge? De quel âge? Canzons? What's Canzons? That 15? Awa? Canzons.
Yeah, 15.
15 years old. A 15-year-old kid took his life. Well, this is why we have the war, guys. Sorry. Okay, he's typing now. Oh, this is hard for me to translate this. Write it in English. I don't understand a couple of those words. His sister, type it in English. I don't understand. That's a little bit too big for me. Okay, he's asking, can he make dua for him? Okay, she's saying he's asking, can he make dua, asking Allah to forgive his cousin of his sins? I don't like to even answer that question. Remember, guys, Allah forgives all sins except for disbelief. Allah forgives all sins except for disbelief. That's why we don't make dua for the non-Muslims. And a person that dies having taken their own soul, that's why the Prophet didn't do the funeral prayer for them. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't do the funeral prayer for them because you can't make dua for them. They died as an unbeliever. Comprenez? That's the sad reality. You died as an unbeliever. All the good deeds are gone. That's why the Prophet didn't do their funeral prayer. So no. It's sad. Just don't make that mistake with himself. Can you tell your brother that? Okay. Yes. That's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not do the funeral prayer. So no, that's a sin of disbelief. We can't pray for unbelievers. Now, if he had some psychological problems going on, that would be different, sister. Comprenez maintenant? Was he fool? Fool is crazy, right? AY fool? Was he fool? Fool?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, if he wasn't fool, that means crazy. And nothing you can do. Yeah. All right, this is depressing. Okay, let me do my lecture right quick because we have to go to a different topic. I've gotten depressed. I don't like people messing with the kids, and I just don't like that. And the fatwas, these are the signs of the last hour. The ruwaybidah. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the ruwaybidah. The ruwaybidah will issue fatwa that goes against what Allah says, against what the Prophet said. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The days of the ruwaybidah. And they calling themselves muftis. Make sure that you guys as parents emphasize to your children the dangers of suicide. Would y'all do that? And the dangers of drugs. Because there's a fatwa saying that marijuana is lawful too. Yeah, I saw that. The sister here is talking about that too now. What's going on? Yeah, that's a problem here in America too. Oh yeah, not just in the Europe where you guys are. Okay. You know, the fatwa is about making marijuana lawful, astaghfirullah. These are the signs of the last hour. They will issue fatwa, making things lawful that Allah made unlawful. You done made suicide lawful. You done made marijuana lawful. You done made music lawful. Oh yeah, the Brooklyn girls. Okay. You done made a sex lawful. It's okay for a woman to prostitute. It's okay for a woman to do phone sex. It's okay for a woman to work a strip pole if she ain't got no other way. Who said that? Who said that? Not Allah, not the Prophet, not those companions. Was that their understanding? Women were taken as captives of war. They were at warfare during the time of the companions. Is there any hadith that says a companion said it's okay for a woman to prostitute because we in times of war? Allah says never give up on him. I'll send food to you from sources you never imagined. But you brothers are telling women that they can prostitute? Are you out your mind? You people better start thinking like the companions. Man, you people are sick. I'm telling you, if any of them companions were alive today, they look at you Muslims and they say, you people are not Muslims. You're Kharijites. Take them out of here with your protesting against the qadr of Allah. Sitting around protesting against the qadr of Allah, boycotting the qadr of Allah, and telling kids that they can do suicide, telling kids that marijuana is legal, lawful, prostitution is okay, because you can't find a job, so you can do phone sex. This is the thing she just typed here. Who told you that? Girl, y'all see what today? Lord have a mercy. Allah wanted me to come out of my pity party to deal with this. Who told you that you could do phone sex to make money? Girl, you know what? Any of y'all in my Zoom room doing phone sex to make money? Geechee?
No, ma'am. No.
Okay, she said, that's why we're here. Because Sister Laila, you're the only one that keeps it real. This sister, where you from? She's from the United Kingdom. She said, you're the only one that keeps it real. She said, you always give us the evidence. These other brothers don't. She said, but yes, this is true, what she's saying. She said, I'm in the United Kingdom. She said, but I've heard that too. She said, I've heard brothers say that a woman can do phone sex to make money if she can't find a job and ain't got no husband. What kind of stuff is this? We got some American women hitting the pole too. I know. I heard about the pole stuff. Oh yeah. Y'all following these fatwas of these mufti dudes. Girl, this is some sickness going on here. Yeah, well, I'm glad Allah guided y'all to this website. No, you don't commit no sins like that. You know, we don't fornicate. We don't adulterate. We don't phone sex. We don't strip pole it. We don't prostitute. Allah says in the Quran, oh, you women who believe, do not make a public spectacle of yourself. That's what a public spectacle is. A public spectacle is not wearing makeup. Remember, I told you guys, it all goes back to that. Remember, I told you guys, we don't understand the meaning of our own language. When Allah says in the Quran for women to not make public spectacles, he was talking about prostitution. He said, oh, you women, when you go out in the public, make your voices loud. Make your behavior intimidating. Do not become a public spectacle as you used to do before Islam. Before Islam, the women had to prostitute themselves. They had to soften their voices. They had to walk and jingle their bangles to get the attention of men. Otherwise, they were viewed as nothing because women were less than a dog back then. That's what that means. Public spectacle refers to prostituting yourself. There's no need for any of us women to do that today as Muslims. I don't care if it's war times. You trust in Allah, He'll send you what you need. You ain't got to sell your body for it. You live in Europe. You live in the West. You ain't even in war. You in Europe. You can get you a job as a door dasher. You can get you a job at McDonald's. McDonald's is always hiring. Burger King is always hiring, but why is it? Why is it that the sisters are not working at McDonald's? Because some idiot, Mr. Mufti again, Mr. Mufti put a fatwa out saying it's haram to work in McDonald's because they support Israel, which is a lie. So that's why the sisters ain't working at McDonald's. They prostitute and doing phone sex. Phone sex is quick, easy money. I know, because I had a couple of clients doing that crap. We was trying to figure out where they getting this $2,000 checks coming from. Oh, heck no. We don't do that. You brothers and your fatwas, y'all better take them fatwas out of here. You're the reason why we got prostitution too now. Phone sex. Get you a job at McDonald's, sister. They hiring all over the world. And it's good money. This is ridiculous. Okay, she said, well, that's why we are here, Sister Laila, because we knew you'd keep it real. Yes, I'm keeping it real. Y'all need to stop. Don't listen to these brothers no more. None of them. They sick. Oh. Yeah. Are there any other questions from you sisters here?